Okay, guys. So, as I said before, this week we're going to start with the week number 8. And the week number 8, we're going to start with this reading. Yeah, this is a piece of news. Well, of course, it's fake, it's not real. But I would like you to help me reading this part. So, Mrs. Jennifer, read from the beginning until the yellow point.
Okay, teacher. Late at last Sunday night, the bailable guitar of Juanes was exhibited in the city downtown. Unfortunately, unfortunately,
Mhm.
right at midnight, the lights of the exhibition were turned off and the guitar was broke.
And the guitar was robbed. Muy bien, very
Broke.
good. Exactly, very good. Mrs. Laura, continue, my dear.
For weeks, the rumor of a group of fans trying to steal it has been listened around the media.
Mhm.
Nevertheless, the guitar has been exhibited many times for the last months.
Perfect. So the guitar has been exhibited many times for the last month. Ready? Mr. Nicholas, can you help me with this part, with this short part?
Sure. Nowadays, the case is investigated and evidence is collected in order to solve the mystery.
Great, thank you. And Luisa, my dear, the last part.
Some statements have been listened so far, and they point out to a major complot in Colombia.
Thank you, my dear. Great. So in all this piece of news, and it is the way that the news are usually written, there is not a single subject. Yeah. The subject or the person who is responsible for all of this is an incognita, is unknown. Yeah. What is the meaning of unknown?
Desconocido.
Desconocido.
Desconocido,
Desconocido.
right? So the subject is an incognita. We don't have clarity about who was the person who robbed the guitar. We don't have like evidence who was the person who exhibited the guitar of Juanes, not even who was the person who robbed the guitar, not even who started the rumor about the complot, yeah, not even who is the police who is investigating the case and collecting the evidence. So in all of these cases, we have a lot of information of situations that are going on, but the subject, the person who did the action, is unknown. It's not clear. What happens when the subject of one sentence is not clear? Well, in that case, when the subject of a sentence is not clear, we are going to have to use the passive voice. Ready? The passive voice is not a tense, but it's a mood of speaking. Es un modo de hablar, right? Es un modo verbal. No es un tiempo, sino es un modo, right? Entonces, the passive voice, what it's going to be to do is to give all the emphasis of the sentence to the object of the sentence, not to the subject, because the subject is not clear, is unknown. So it's going to give all the responsibility of that sentence, all the highlight of that sentence is going to be given to the object of the sentence. So, for example, in this case, let me just go down a little bit. We have active voice. Active voice is as we normally speak, and the passive voice. The passive voice is on the other way when I want to emphasize on the object. Normally, we have the subject, the verb, and the complement, and inside the complement, we have the object. Yes? For example, we can say that someone, we don't know specifically who was, so I could say someone, a person, robbed, someone robbed the guitar. Bueno, the guitar of Juanes, ¿cierto? Entonces, in that case, the subject is not clear, it's someone, but someone could be any person, right? And the verb, which is robbed, and the object, which in this case is the guitar. From this sentence, I don't get any information, but what is important is the object. So in the passive voice, the first thing that I have to do is to take the object and put it into the first part of the sentence. I'm going to take the object, in this case the guitar, and move it to the first part of the sentence, transport it to the first part of the sentence. So the guitar is going to be now the first part of the sentence, the guitar. Yes? The subject is going to be at the end if it's necessary. If it's not necessary, I can simply eliminate the subject because in this case, someone, it's not relevant. It doesn't say anything. So I can just take it out, eliminate, right? Now, what I am going to have with the verb, it's a little bit more, not difficult, but it requires attention. This verb is going to be split in two. In one part, I am going to have the tense. What is the meaning of tense?
The time.
El time, el tiempo, ¿cierto? Muy bien. And on the other case, I'm going to have the verb. Entonces, en este caso, el verbo es rob. ¿Cuál es el tiempo?
Past.
Simple past, ¿cierto?
Simple past.
Simple past. Simple past. Right? Entonces, ya tengo el tiempo y tengo el verbo. In passive voice, I am going to put that tense to the verb to be. Se lo voy a poner al verb to be. Always al verb to be. Always. And then I am going to have that verb and I am going to put it into the past participle form. Fortunately, this is exactly the same as we do it in Spanish. En español hacemos exactamente lo mismo. When I say, for example, vamos a borrar esto, alguien se robó la guitarra, it's better to use it. La guitarra fue what? Robada. Right? Entonces recuerden que robada, pues es el past participle de robar. Y esto es el verb to be en pasado. Es decir, hago exactamente lo mismo en español y en inglés. In English, of course, it would be the past of verb to be was, and the past participle of rob, it's a regular verb, robbed. Right? So the sentence in passive voice, it would be the guitar was, ¿cierto? The guitar was robbed. El complemento puede ser de tiempo, puede ser de lugar. Yeah, so I could say, for example, the guitar was robbed last Sunday night, que era cuando decía la noticia, last Sunday night, right? So in that case, guys, notice that the passive voice is going to be always a combination between the verb to be plus a verb in past participle. Passive voice es esto básicamente, combinar el verb to be con un verbo en past participle. Ahora, ¿cuál verb to be? Ah, bueno, ahí depende del tiempo del verbo original. En este caso puse el verb to be en pasado. ¿Por qué? El tiempo del verbo original era pasado. Pero si el tiempo del verbo original fuera presente, pues el verb to be iría en presente. Y eso es lo que vamos a trabajar el día de hoy. La voz pasiva, tanto en pasado como en presente. ¿Listo, guys? ¿Ready? ¿Qué tal hasta ahí, más o menos? Obviamente solamente es una introducción, pero ¿cómo se sienten hasta ahí? Questions, difficulties.
Bien, teacher.
Muy bien, very good. Si esta parte está fácil, entonces no problem. Bueno, so in that case, my dear people, in the infographic of this week, yes, we have a couple of questions. The first question was, do you know who is the author of Harry Potter?
No, I don't.
No, no idea. Anybody knows?
No.
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling. Yes, the J.K. Rowling. But of course, Harry Potter is, o sea, the product, the book or the movie, it's much more famous than the author. The author, some people know it, but not everyone. But if I say Harry Potter, everybody knows Harry Potter. Yes, but J.K. Rowling is not so famous. So, good. Do you know who produced first the beer? In what country? In what?
Germany.
Germany, very good, no? So in that case, Germany is the first or the biggest producer of beer with Belgium, no? But also Germany. Muy bien. Guys, do you know where the coffee is consumed the most? In what country is the coffee consumed the most?
India.
India? Maybe. Well,
Colombia.
because of the number of people, but in Italy, it's consumed the most.
Mm.
In Italy and also in United States, but you know the coffee in United States is a little bit trash. So in Italy, they consume a lot of coffee. And the last one, do you know which countries compound the United Kingdom?
Irish, Irlanda,
Ireland.
Ireland.
Uh-huh.
Mm,
What is?
eh,
There are
Ga-
four countries. Four. Ireland is one.
Gran Bretaña, ¿cómo se dice?
Gran Bretaña es la
¿Es
isla,
todo?
más o menos, casi. No, Gran Bretaña son los otros tres países sin Irlanda.
Ok.
Entonces, what are the other three countries? Uno empieza con S, the other one with W, and the other one with E.
Es Scotch.
Escocia.
Scott, Scotland. Scotch es el
Scotland.
gentilicio de escocés, ¿ready? Pero Scotland es el nombre del país. Muy bien, very good. The other?
And Wales.
Wales, which is Gales, very good. And the last one, que estamos aprendiendo, what are we learning?
England.
England, muy bien.
England, sí.
Exactly. Entonces, the four countries, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and England, they compound the United Kingdom. Yes? Entonces te dicen, profe, pero ¿a qué tiene que ver todo esto con el passive voice? Bueno, en estas preguntas, el objeto es más importante que el sujeto. Yes? Entonces, todas estas preguntas se pueden contestar con passive voice, right? Por ejemplo, I can say that Harry Potter was created by J.K. Rowling. Yes. ¿Por qué? Porque el objeto, que en este caso es Harry Potter, es más importante que J.K. Rowling. La oración original sería J.K. Rowling created Harry Potter. Voz activa, ¿cierto? Pero la gente dice, ¿pero quién es J.K. Rowling? Entonces es mejor darle protagonismo al objeto. Por lo tanto, uso voz pasiva. Harry Potter, el tiempo era pasado simple, así que uso el verb to be en pasado simple. Was, y el verbo create es regular, en past participle queda igual. Was created by J.K. Rowling, ¿cierto? In this case, do you know who produced first the beer? Pues dice, bueno, Germany, listo. Entonces, the beer, en este caso es más importante que el país, was produced,
In Germany.
was produced in Germany. Muy bien, ¿ya? Entonces, en este caso, el sujeto, que realmente es el país, el lugar, pues va a quedar al final, right? Pero lo mismo, was produced, fue producido, right? Or in that case, which is present, and they say, do you know where coffee is consumed the most? Right? I say Italy. Listo, pero ¿qué pasa en Italy? Que el café es consumido, pero ahí es consumido. So, no fue, sino es. Por lo tanto, el verb to be es en present. Entonces, the coffee is consumed in Italy, ¿cierto? Passive voice, right? Y aquí voy a darles la oración en activo, en voz activa y ustedes me lo transforman en voz pasiva. La voz activa sería Ireland, Scotland, Wales and England compound United o the United Kingdom, the UK. Esa es la voz activa, ¿cierto? ¿Cómo quedaría entonces en voz pasiva?
The United Kingdom is compounded.
Yes, compound, yes.
Compound. Mm. For Ireland, Scotland, Gales, and England.
Muy
By.
bien. Yes, by. Excelente, Lu. Very good. Entonces, the United Kingdom is compound, right? By Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England, and right? Entonces, in this case, guys, when we use the passive voice, there are going to be a lot of different uses. Cuando usamos voz pasiva, van a haber muchos usos diferentes. For example, when we talk about in the past, passive voice in the past, we can use different things that were done, but the object is more important than the author. For example, 100 Years of Solitude. Todo el mundo conoce esa novela, 100 Years of Solitude. Do you remember who is the author of 100 Years of Solitude?
Gabriel García Márquez.
Obvio, nosotros lo conocemos porque es colombiano, pero mucha gente no conoce el autor, right? Entonces, what is better? To say that Gabriel García Márquez wrote 100 Years of Solitude or 100 Years of Solitude was written by Gabriel García Márquez. What do you think is better? ¿Qué sería mejor?
Was written.
Was written, ¿cierto? Porque estoy dando protagonismo a la novela y no al autor, right? Or for example, do you know who was the person who wrote La María? It's a Colombian novel.
Jorge Isaacs.
Oh, ya, Laura sí la sabe, very good. This is Jorge Isaacs wrote La María, o más bien, La María was written by
Was
Jorge.
written.
Exactly, right? Y así puedo usarlo con otras cosas. For example, the movies. For example, I can use the verb like produce, directed, right? Si es de los personajes, I can say like starred, como protagonizado, o played, cuando hablo de un personaje que fue actuado por, right? O performed, interpretado, performed, right? Si estoy hablando de el personaje que fue interpretado por algún actor, right? Or for example, if I talk about paintings, well, I can say designed, or of course painted, or it could be drawn, right? Like dibujada. Or if it's about application of companies, I can say founded, which is fundada, or created, or established, right? Or I don't know, maybe improved. What is the meaning of improved?
Mejorado.
Mejorado. Exactly. Mejorar, en este caso mejorado porque es past participle. Ready? Inventions, of course. O también puedo decir created o invented. Right? Developed. What is the meaning of developed?
Desarrollar.
Very good. Desarrollar, right? So if it's history, I can say, conquered. What is the meaning of conquered?
Conquistado.
Conquistado, or I can say invaded, or I can say discovered. Bueno, dependiendo del punto de vista, right? Discovered, or I can say like, I don't know, what was the other one? Controlled. Depending, depending what the action is. So there are many different things that I can use for many different contexts in which I can use the passive voice, right? So of course, remember that in this case, it's all in the past. So it's going to be was or were plus the verb in past participle, cualquiera de los que están acá. Design, conquer, invaded, produced, directed, established, right? For example, here we have, guys, perdona, pregunta, ¿puedo borrar estos verbos que están por ahí volando? Yes, no problem.
Yes, teacher, no problem.
Listo, good, excellent.
No problem, teacher.
Listo, good. So, in this case, for example, we have 10 different examples. Bueno, one less because I already did it here. Can say, for example, that Titanic was directed by James Cameron, talking about directed. But I can say, for example, that Titanic was starred by who? Who were the actors, the stars of Titanic?
Leo DiCaprio.
Very good. So Titanic was starred by Leo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet is the name of the woman, right? So, muy bien. Or, I don't know, Titanic was destroyed. not the movie, but the ship, the Titanic, was destroyed by an iceberg. Yes, so look, from one single example, Titanic, I obtain different things, depends on my intentions, right? Now you have other 9, yes, Mario Bros, Twin Towers, Amazon, the company, Dinosaurs, Avenger movies, Wolverine, the character, National Anthem, the Colombian National Anthem, and Romeo and Juliet. Choose one and complete, made an example using the passive voice in past. Ready? What you got? Show me.
For example, Apple was created by I forget her name.
Jeff Bezos.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, very good. I was looking by this Amazon. Apple, very good. So Apple was established or was created by Steve Jobs. Very good, Nico. Great. What other?
Mario Bros was created in 1983.
Perfect. Mario Bros was created in 1983.
83.
My God, that's older than me. Oh my God. Okay, great. What else?
Dinosaurs were extinguished,
Extinguished.
extinguished 66 million years ago.
Perfect. Very good. So they were extinguished 66 million years ago. Oh my God. Long time. Anybody else?
Romeo and Juliet was read by William Shakespeare.
Very good. But was written. Past participle,
Ah,
right? Written.
read it, yes.
Very good. Bien. Muy bien. ¿Ah? And Camilo?
Teacher, Avengers movies was directed by Russo brothers.
Very good. But in that case, Avenger movies,
Mhm.
as they are movies, so were directed,
Okay, yes,
very good,
yes,
by
teacher.
Russo
Were.
brothers. Muy
Mhm.
bien. Very good,
Okay.
Cami. Thank you so much, my friend. Excellent. So that's the way, no? Clear. Romeo and Juliet was written. The national anthem was written by Rafael Núñez. The national anthem was composed, because it's music, was composed by Oreste Sindici, who was an Italian composer. Wolverine was performed by, I forget the name of the actor. It's the same actor, but Hugh Jackman, right? So Wolverine was performed by Hugh Jackman. The Twin Towers were destroyed in 2001. Amazon was created by Jeff Bezos, no? Was where, and that's it, right? Super great. Now, that was when we talk about things in past. What about if we mention things that happen every day? Like, for example, details of a country, yeah? For example, the economy, the money of the country, the industry, the sports, the agriculture. They are global issues and they happen every day. I cannot use the past, or I shouldn't use the past, because in that case, this is something that happens every day. For example, the money. We're talking about the currencies. What is the meaning of currencies? Nico, what is that?
Like the kind of cash of the country.
Exactly. So the denominación, la moneda. If it's pesos, dollars, euros, right? So when we talk about money, we can say, for example, used, what kind of money is used, what kind of, or what, or how much money is spent, or how much money is destined, yes, or how much money is reserved. But this is something that happens every day. When we talk about economy, there are different products. We can use, for example, produced, imported, imported, exported, yes, trade, which is like comercial, right? Different things, or agriculture, grown, like cultivado already, or harvested, which is like cosechado, harvested, or raised, if it's an animal, yeah, like como criado, or for example, what else? Grown, harvested, raised, also sold, yes. Well, the different other options. Sports, practice, practice, played, ¿cierto? Watched, yeah. Different other options. Industry, options like assemble. What's the meaning of assemble?
Ensamblado.
Ensamblado.
Ensamblado, very good, excellent. So assembled or develop again. Yes, some of the options that we used before. Develop, created, design, so on, so on. With technology, the same, develop, manufacture, we can also use manufactured. Yes. So there are going to be different, when we have languages, which is in that case spoken, right? Different moments in which we use the passive voice, but in present, because these things happen every day, right? For example, if I say dollars, yeah, dollars are used, I cannot say by people, because of course it's people, but people in what countries? Okay, dollars are used in United States, in Ecuador, in Mexico, in TTT, in Puerto Rico, in many parts of the world. Yeah. So when in this case, it's more common to use the place of this action because it's actions that are clearly done by people. But I would like to know people in what country or people in what area. So usually the complement in this case is going to be establishing the place in which the action occurs, right? Obviously, in this case, it's going to be is or are plus the verb in past participle. Produce, use, exported, imported, harvested, raised, sold, practice, play, blah, 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 right? Guys, for example, bananas. In what part of Colombia are bananas grown?
Urabá.
In Urabá. Very good. Bananas are grown in Urabá, ¿cierto? In Urabá, Antioquia. Very good. And in what part of the country is the cattle raised? Cattle, it means ganado. Cattle. In what part of the country is the cattle raised?
El llano. Los
Llano,
llanos.
¿cierto? In the flatlands. Flatlands, que son como los llanos. Muy bien, very good. And in what part of the country is the acai harvested?
Maybe Brazil, teacher.
In Amazon, in the Amazon, very good.
Okay. Okay,
Exactly.
okay.
Muy bien, Camilo. So the acai is harvested in Brazil. Bueno, I am giving examples of agriculture because our country is very agricultural, right? So that's why I'm giving these kind of examples. But of course, that we can have other different kind. For example, here we have other different ones like Quechua. Quechua is a language. This is an indigenous language. So I can say, for example, that the Quechua is spoken in South America, or Quechua is spoken in Peru and Bolivia, right? But then you have others. Guarani is also an indigenous language. Apple, the fruit. Or bueno, the company also. The yen, it's the currency. Yes. Silk, the fabric. Rupees, money. Ferrari and Maserati, you know, like they are car brands. Coffee, the product, are Waco, it's other indigenous language, and soccer, which is an sport. Choose one and tell me or complete the example.
For example, rupees are used in India.
Wonderful. The rupees are used in India. Very good. What else?
Ferrari and Maserati is maybe manufactured in Italy.
Very good, but Ferrari and Maserati are two different brands. So Ferrari and Maserati are manufactured in Italy. Mhm. What other?
Teacher.
Coffee is
No, okay.
Quechua is spoken, sorry. Quechua is spoken in America and South America.
Quechua is spoken in South America. Actually, it's the same example that we have here. Very good, great.
Ah, sorry. Oh my
No,
God.
but it's good. We coincide. We agree on that, right? Muy bien, very good. Cami, you were saying?
Soccer is known all over the world.
Perfect. Soccer is known, watched, and played all
Uh-huh.
over the world. Muy bien, Camilo. Great. Any other?
yen is used in Japan.
Perfect. The yen is used in Japan. Yeah. Arhuaco is spoken in Sierra Nevada. Guarani is spoken in Paraguay. Apple is manufactured in China. I don't know, in Indonesia or something like that. Yeah. So coffee is produced in Colombia and Vietnam. So in that case, different things that happen every day. So we use is or are. Careful when it's plural, we use are, and then the verb in past participle. Right? Notice that in all of these examples, the subject of these actions is not important or it's not clear. In the previous examples, in the examples with past, it was not so important. Yes? I mean, everybody knows Mona Lisa, but not everybody knows Da Vinci. Everybody knows like Bogota, but not everybody knows Gonzalo Jimenez de Quesada, who was the person who founded. So the subject was not really so important. In this case, in the present, the subject is not clear because it's an action that is done by any person. So one more time, the subject is not clear, right? So in that case, guys, when we use the passive voice, the most important thing is that we can combine the verb to be with a verb in past participle. But so far we saw simple past and simple present. Is, was, perdón, is or are, it was, it were, y verb in past participle. But we can have many other tenses. Podemos tener muchos otros tiempos. Bueno, en realidad todos los tiempos, right? For example, in this case we have passive voice in simple present. Bueno, ya lo vimos. Is, are, verb in past participle. Passive voice in simple past, was, were, very past participle. Pero tengo muchos otros. Present continuous, is being, are being, very past participle. Present perfect, has been or have been, and very past participle. Right? Simple future, will be or is going to be, and very past participle. And modal verbs, can be, should be, must be, and very past participle. Entonces, esa voz pasiva se puede aplicar a cualquier tiempo que se nos ocupe. ¿Vale? Por el momento, quedémonos con present simple y simple past para no confundirnos tanto, pero más adelante en otras semanas, en otros niveles, vamos a ver los demás. ¿Listo? Entonces, para que lo tengan claro. Les voy a compartir esta paginita es realmente solo mía, para que practiquen y revisen si tienen duditas sobre el passive voice. ¿Listo? Ahí se las dejo. Aquí ustedes pueden ver videitos donde la gente en la parte de arriba pueden ver videos donde la gente como que usa el passive voice, así como en series y eso, y en la página final van a encontrar otras actividades extra que son como imágenes para que las puedan hacer y puedan, pues, digamos, usar el passive voice. ¿Listo? Ready? Guys, ¿cómo van? Good? Questions, difficulties, or problems?
Thank you, teacher.
Oh, no, you're welcome. My pleasure. Bueno, guys, one of the most important uses. Oh my God, sorry, wait. Se me perdió here. Este. One of the most important uses of the passive voice is talking about the news, right? Talking about the news because in that case, I can give information when the responsible of the action is not clear. For example, I can say somebody stole 7 government trucks. No sé si se acuerdan que hace unos años alguien, no sabemos quién, se robó 7 camionetas del Congreso, right? Entonces, in that case, nunca supieron quién. Entonces, en vez de decir que alguien, sin saber quién, puede usar la voz pasiva para introducir esa información, ¿cierto? Entonces, ok, 7 government trucks were stolen, en vez de decir de la otra forma, right? For example, here, a scientist in Sweden discovered the cure for baldness. Un científico en Suecia, pero no es ningún científico famoso, no sabemos realmente. Fue un científico por allá en Suecia, right? Entonces, bueno, es mejor darle protagonismo al objeto. En este caso, ¿cuál es el objeto? La cura de la calvicie, the cure for baldness, right? So, the cure for baldness was discovered in Sweden, yes? Or, for example, people support the new education policy. What people? ¿Qué gente? No, pues la gente. Bueno, entonces es mejor darle protagonismo al objeto. En este caso, el objeto es the new education policy. Yes? Entonces, in that case, the new education policy is supported en presente, ¿cierto? Voz pasiva, pero presente, right? Entonces, in that case, my dear people, las noticias o los encabezados van a ser uno de los usos más importantes cuando hablamos de voz pasiva. ¿Listo? Entonces, in that case, we're going to have here some examples about it. For example, how would you give this information? For example, in this case, I would say that Colombians health es como sostener, ¿cierto? Health, presidential elections yesterday. Es un example. Listo. Obviamente sabemos que si fue en este país, pues fueron todos los colombianos. No hay necesidad de especificar. ¿Cómo podrían darle la vuelta y darle más protagonismo al objeto?
Como Colombia, presidential, elections, held yesterday, no sé.
Entonces,
yesterday?
Colombian presidential, o sea, las elecciones de presidente colombiano, Colombian presidential elections. ¿Qué? Ahí voy. Colombian presidential elections.
Was,
Plural. Elections.
okay, where? Yes.
Where?
Held?
Yes, past participle is the same. Hold, held. Entonces, Colombian presidential elections were held yesterday.
Okay.
Sencillo, right? Of course, normalmente en los periódicos y en portales web simplemente quitan el verb to be sabiendo que ya es una voz pasiva y van a encontrar noticias como por ejemplo Colombian presidential elections held yesterday. Ya, sin el verb to be. Que se quita por acortar la información, más no porque no se necesite. ¿Listo? Ready? So, what about the next one? Imagínense un ejemplo que ustedes quieran. Anybody. Ay, my God, sorry. Como aquí, that's it.
The cure of SIDA. Oh, no. SIDA, no. They say some letters, but I don't remember.
The cure for
The cure for IVH?
yes, exactly. No, wait.
The
AID? No,
Okay.
something like that. I'm not sure, but well, let's say it's like that. Creo que sí es así.
It was discovered, but it doesn't happen.
No, it hasn't happened yet. Aún no, but soon,
Okay, but the cure for AIDS was discovered in 2020.
for example, in 2020. Muy bien, very good. That's another example. Great. What about this one?
Town was destroyed
Excelente, muy bien.
for
Ujú, ujú.
Earthquake.
Puede ser by an
yes.
earthquake, by a tsunami, looks like. Ujú, muy bien. Entonces,
Mhm.
town was destroyed or by an earthquake or by a tsunami or so on and so on. Muy bien, very good. What about that one?
Hmm. Mm.
A dog is founded on the street.
Good. A dog, bueno, en este caso es a puppy, ¿no? Un
A puppy.
cachorrito. A puppy was. Pero el pasado de find es found.
A found.
Founded sí existe, pero founded es el pasado de found, que es fundar. Entonces, cuando digo founded es
Mm,
fundado y solo found es encontrado, right? Entonces,
okay,
a
found.
puppy was found in the street. But imagine that the puppy had rabies and was sacrificed. No mentira, of course.
Hmm.
Muy bien, very good, excellent. So a puppy was found in the street. And the last one. This one is different. It's different because it's about the future. So, any ideas?
The park
The park.
will was. ¿Eso es posible?
No es posible, pero por ahí va.
Mm.
The
Will
park
open.
will
Be
open. Muy bien, will be.
will be opened.
Will be.
Exactly. Será
Okay.
abierto. It
Mm.
will be opened next July the 31st. Perfecto, muy bien, guys. Bueno, este era un ejemplito como para que vean que también se puede hacer en futuro. ¿Listo? ¿Ready? Muy bien, guys. Excellent. Entonces, ¿cómo se sienten? Questions about the passive voice, difficulties or problems?
No.
No. Bueno, como les decía,
No.
realmente es un tema sencillo, entonces, pues es cuestión de simplemente practicarlo, pero sé que no les va a costar ningún problema. So, in that case, well, as I said, the next class, it's not going to be necessary. So, we're just going to have this class for this week, and that's it. Right? So, no worries. Questions, difficulties, or problems, my dear people?
No.
No, all good.
No, teacher, thank you.
No, thank
Teacher,
you. Give me question.
em, es que yo programé clases, pero en la mañana, no sé si eso lo dijiste en los primeros minutos digo para
Ay,
mañana, no,
Cami
sino
llegó
para el
tarde, sí.
viernes.
Cami llegó tarde, sí. No te preocupes, espérame un segundito. Ta, ta, ta.